All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. So this crisis situation that's going on with the Haitians at the U.S. border, we are going to get into it in details. Let's start out with this piece of information right here. In 2016, which was 6 years after the earthquake, the United States began removing undocumented Haitians that were protected by the TPS. I don't know if you know about the TPS. That's a temporary protected status, and they started deporting them, people who were protected by the TPS. So after the first earthquake ravaged Haiti, the Americans or USA said, come on in, we'll put you under a temporary protective status. Not asylum, which is a more permanent status, but a temporary protective status, which means they always reserved the right to say, okay, your temporary status is up and now you have to go, which is what ended up happening. So they started deporting the Haitians. So let's take a break, y'all, real quick, and let's get into a little bit of promo. I mean, in a time when everybody dresses alike and look alike, it's time, and sometimes it's important to remember that you are original. So it's okay to be original and not like everybody else. Mimo clothing brand. All contacts for IG, FB, and their website, which you can purchase directly on at www.mimoclothingbrand.com. Mimo Clothing Brand started in 2021, and they have a variety of t-shirts and hoodies that are out for sale on the website right now. Go over to Mimo Clothing Brand, purchase a piece, show your support, tell them SouFLoTV sent you. Back to our scheduled program at hand. In 2016. In 2017, efforts to end the TPS by the national government, that effort pushed forth under the Donald Trump administration aggressively to end the TPS completely, do away with it. The Trump administration began and did deport about 5,500 Haitian refugees. Then we fast forward to today, where we look at the U.S. expelling nearly 4,000 Haitians in 9 days alone as part of what's called a deportation blitz. In just 9 days, the U.S. has expelled nearly 4,000 Haitian immigrants, including hundreds of families with children, without allowing them to seek asylum as part of an ongoing deportation blitz to a country that is ravaged by natural and man-made calamities. So natural meaning the earthquakes that hit recently, where thousands of Haitians died, and man-made calamity, we speak of the assassination of the President Jovenel Moïse, and we speak of the takeover of the country by armed gangs and militias. The Biden administration has carried out the mass expulsion under an emergency pandemic era policy known as Title 42. Go look it up. That was first enacted under former President Donald Trump, to the dismay of advocates for asylum seekers and to the dismay of many Democrats who voted against this. They did not want this to be on their record. Trump started it, Biden just kept it going. He had the power to not do it, though. Just put that out there, but he did. So the pace and the scale of this expulsion to Haiti, a country where deportation flights were suspended last month because of a deadly earthquake, could make the operation one of the swiftest and the largest U.S. deportation campaign of migrants by air. Between September 19th and September 27th, 37 U.S. deportation flights landed in Haiti with 3,936 migrants on board. Let me say that again so you understand the speed at which this is moving. Between September 19th and September 27th, this year, 2021, deportation flights from the U.S. landed in Haiti. 37 deportation flights in 1 month, in a couple of. All right, everybody, listen, before we go any further with this program, let me send you over to Natural Shells Organics. Nothing beats looking good and feeling good and taking proper care of yourself so you can be the best you that you can be. These products are 100% handmade and organic. It's time that you start taking care of yourself and putting things on your body that are natural, that you can pronounce the ingredients and that you know won't harm you. This product line mostly consists of hair care products that are made to increase hair growth and improve hair health and treat your scalp. There are also skincare products here to soothe out the blemishes, soothe your irritated skin, improve your texture of your skin, and even out your skin tone. And for the fellas, that growth oil, 100% organic, handmade, will have your beard, mustache looking right. So head on over to Natural Shells Organics. Tell us SouFLoTV sent you. And start taking good care of yourself, because you deserve it. Back to our regular scheduled program at hand. In 9 days. Imagine being on the ground in Haiti and seeing this touchdown. 37 flights in 9 days. That's the US saying get the hell out. Okay? These flights landed in Haiti carrying roughly 3,936 migrants, including 2,300 parents and children who entered U.S. border custody as families. And this information is according to the Department of Homeland Security data. This is not made up. This is not what I'm guessing. This is data that is documented, and you can go look it up for yourself. Many, if not all of them, expelled in Haiti previously lived in Chile, in Brazil, and other South American nations, and they have not been in their homeland for years. They had ran away from Haiti to get away from what was going on there. And they have been living in all these other places, making their way over the years towards the U.S. border. Exacerbating disruptions caused by the U.S. expulsion, said some chief of a mission of Port-au-Prince, said that this right here is devastating for Haiti, because a lot of these people that are being deported are coming back. They're coming back to a volatile situation. Of course, there are a lot of people in America who are saying, hey, we wish we could help. We wish we could help. But, you know, we can't take in everybody. And to some degree, you might want to understand that. But then I want you to look to your left and then look to your right, and then see what is going on with the Afghans as the U.S. is poised to bring in hundreds of thousands of Afghanis as they get rid of Haitians. They're very distressed. They start crying the moment they arrived in Haiti, is what one report said. I've seen young, strong guys, some of them just freak out and lose it. Women are crying. The kids are crying because they're seeing the women crying and they're seeing the men break down. It's just chaos. It's a chaotic situation. And many workers on the ground are describing it as heartbreaking at the most. Now, at the two airports, IOM has been distributing meals, hygiene kits, feminine products, and a per-person stipend equivalent to $100 that deportees can use to pay for food, clothes, transportation, phone calls, and other necessities. So they're letting the people go, and they're giving them about $100 US and telling them they should use that to pay for, you know, hygiene, feminine products, and get some food on the way and find your way home, some clothes and transportation and whatnot. Now, we all know that $100 can't do anything, but in all reality, let's be for real. Is the U.S. obligated to return people who cross their borders illegally back to their country and to give them money to go on their way? No, they're not. If they had not given them a penny, the U.S. would still be within their rights. But there are human rights groups who are saying that this is inhumane. And as a part of a civilized nation, the U.S. has done these people wrong. The deportees are tested for coronavirus by Haiti's public health ministry at the airport as they enter. Now you can imagine being put under that work task. Thousands of immigrants returning by flight, and they are tasked with testing everyone and making sure that no one is coming back with the coronavirus so they can quarantine and treat them so they do not go out and infect the larger population of Haiti. This is crazy. Now, after their processing is completed, they are taken to a bus station, and the deportees are then responsible for reaching their own respective destinations in Haiti. Nobody is going to bring you there. Take your $100, find your way. The U.S. Agency for International Development said that it is providing $5.5 million US to IOM, which is the airport where a lot of people are camped out at, so it can serve deported Haitians. Despite the financial support from the U.S., some experts and officials, including a top American diplomat to Haiti who resigned this month over the expulsions, have questioned whether Haiti can adequately absorb thousands of deportees or not. In situations like these, Haiti is left to fend for herself. And even though we are asking, can Haiti absorb so many deportees? Guess what? They are Haitians, and that is where they come from. And that is exactly how the powers that be are looking at it. Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere as it's known, continues to be beset by rampant insecurity, rampant gang violence, and political turmoil that was exacerbated by the July assassination of its president, Jovenel Moïse. I don't think Haiti can really absorb thousands of homeless people, many of whom don't have family or support network in the country. In this short amount of time, says Adam Isaacson, an analyst for the Washington office on Latin America, who monitors migration issues. This is what he told to CBS News. It's probably going to work to the advantage of the gangs and the extortionists who pretty much run vast parts of Port-au-Prince. These people are going to be exploited. There will be young women and children who will be dragged off into the sex trade and be forced to do just that. Serve and make people make money off of them. And there will also be men who will be exploited, as in join gangs by force and forced to carry out street missions in gang lifestyles. It's probably going to work to the advantage of the gangs and the extortionists, the experts said. These people are going to be extorted. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, the Biden administration treatment of Haitian migrants encountered along the southern border has garnered an intense and rare flurry of bipartisan criticism. You have Democrats that are against this. U.S. officials last week cleared a massive camp that became the chaotic symbol of the rapid arrival of 30,000 migrants. Many of them came from Haiti in Del Rio, Texas. But the issue has remained in the national spotlight, with Republicans blasting the administration for not expelling all the immigrants, and the Democrats outraged that the expulsions are taking place in the first place. So there are many Democrats who are saying, why in God's name are you sending these people back, President Biden? But Republicans are blasting the Democrats and are saying, why the hell didn't you send all of them back? Why are you leaving any of them behind? Scrape everybody up, send them back. If 80,000 come, it should be 80,000 going back on a plane swiftly. That is Republican thought. Roughly 13,000 of these migrants recently encountered in Del Rio were processed under the U.S. immigration laws, and they were allowed to have a hearing before a judge. 13,000. Our judges must be busy, including 3,000 who were sent to detention centers, according to the Department of Homeland Security data. An estimated 8,000, though, have returned to Mexico voluntarily, while another 4,000 remain in U.S. custody, awaiting expulsion or release. So some of these Haitians are not even going back. Once the U.S. says to them, or Department of Homeland Security says to them, listen, you can self-deport, go back to Haiti, or you have us deport you. A lot of them are saying, okay, I'll self-deport, I'll leave, but I'm going to Mexico. And they went to Mexico, or I'm going to El Salvador, or I'm going to wherever else they were living at before, but not Haiti. Now, citing the dire conditions in Haiti, top Democratic lawmakers like Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have urged the administration to please stop this expulsion, stop the deportation of the Haitians now. This is inhumane. It is an inhumane immigration agenda that needs to stop. In July, when it granted temporary protective status, a humanitarian form of deportation relief to certain Haitians already in the U.S., the Biden administration recognized that Haiti was grappling with the deteriorating political crisis, unheard of levels of violence, and a staggering increase in human rights abuse. Ask how that decision squared up with the recent assessment that deportation to Haiti could continue after just a short while ago. That was their finding, that Haitians are grappling with a deteriorating political crisis, violence, and staggering increase in human rights abuse, which should have qualified these Haitians for some form of status, a protected status. They should not be deported back in. But for some reason, the Biden administration is deporting these people in record numbers. Before I close this video, let me say this. The number of Afghans that are about to come in compared to the number of Haitians that are leaving or being deported is staggering. Yet they are making room for the Afghans and saying there is no room for the Haitian or the Haitians. In a court filing on Monday defending the continued enforcement of Title 42, Justice Department lawyer called the expulsion policy a significant deterrent to the entry of family units. In other words, man, I've seen these pictures. They're out in, look like they're out in deserted lands being rounded up like cattle. Men on horseback are running after them. You are running on foot and horses are chasing you. And here goes these wild, wild west cowboys living out their fantasies, how it would be like to live like my great-grandfather, I don't know, or I am on a farm in Texas somewhere rounding up cattle, and they are actually running after them, roping them, like how they let the little calves run out and they chase them on a horse and rope them, swing the rope in the hair, I forgot what it's calling, lassoing. That's what they're doing to them. Man, listen, shout out to my Haitian people. Stand strong. And y'all got to get it together, man. Y'all got to get it together. All you have is you. And Haiti has to remember that. It's sad to see that. In the meantime, when these millions of dollars are going to Haiti, you must understand, and go look this up if you don't believe me, a lot of these Haitian politicians are buying mansions in other countries that are considered first world countries, like Canada, for example. $400,000, $500,000 houses 1.5 million Canadian dollar houses. Where are they moving that money from? Is that money the money to help the Haitian people? I'll leave this video right here. I'll let you decide. Leave your comments in the comment section below. What do you think that the U.S. should do? What would be the humane thing to do? And before you answer, I want you to keep in mind that as they are moving these Haitians out, they might just be making room for the hundreds of thousands of Afghans that they will be moving in. It's SouFLoTV. Hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace. All right, listen, so you started a business, right? Whether it's a brick and mortar business or a business online. How is your business doing? Is it doing well? Do you need promotions? You cannot afford to start a business and not do promotions. Promotions is what it's all about. Some people have a big budget. That way they can spend a whole lot of money on these huge platforms. MSNBC, NBC, CNN, all those. Your budget might not be that. Those are $1 million budgets. At the same time, you can still reach a demographic of people that might be interested in your business. And how do you do that? You do that by piggybacking on one of these channels that the core audience of that channel is also the type of people you are trying to reach with your business. It works, okay? Hook up, give me a call, or shoot me an email and let's get your promo going right now. I don't care what business it is. I can send people to you. Now, before we go, let me say this. I am not guaranteeing you a certain amount of subscribers. You are the one that will have to, or I'm not guaranteeing you a certain amount of people that will come. You are the one that has to continue to push your business. Okay, with you promoting your business yourself and me promoting your business for you, there's no way you can't win. So give me a call right now or shoot me an email and let's work this out. Call right now, email right now, let's get this moving. Promotions, promotions, promotions. That's what it's all about.